And now to an incredible adventure to raise awareness of the global water crisis, one that leaves 1 billion people around the world without access to safe and clean drinking water. Two Dutchmen are in the middle of an 18-month bike ride from the top of the Americas in Alaska to the southern tip of Argentina. Right now, they are in Medellin, Colombia. They're riding the 30,000-kilometre distance on bamboo bicycles. The two friends took a bottle of icy Alaskan water along with them, their symbolic effort to complete the natural water cycle. They have endured heat, they have endured cold, rain and mountain passes. Just a short time ago, I talked to them about the first part of their journey.
The first 8,000 miles is basically a practice run for the Andes. The hills here are crazy. I mean, we've just entered the Andes. And in the first 100 kilometers were so steep and so tiring that, I mean, it's good that we had some practice before.
Yeah. I was reading some material that some information you'd sent to us, and part of the last leg was pretty wet.
Yeah, we entered Colombia 3 weeks ago in Cartagena, and from there on we went inland into the valley. And that's a lot of rivers, a lot of water there, and there's been flooding. So we had to push our bikes through mud, and parts of the road were washed away, and so that was quite hard.
I guess you get a lot of help from the locals. You couldn't do it without it.
No, definitely not. The locals have been wonderful the whole trip already. I mean, same in the United States and Mexico. Now, we're kind of a rare sight. We have our bamboo bikes and we have trailers and we have a lot of gear with us. So when we ride through these little towns and these little communities, we're somewhat of a spectacle. So if you stand by the road for more than a minute to just drink some water, there's like 15, 20 locals that come up to you and want to talk to you, want to know everything about you, want to know where you came from, what you're doing. And when we say we've ridden our bikes down from Alaska and it's taken us 10 months to get here, they're quick to offer a smile or to even a place to stay or help in any kind of sense. So the locals have been truly wonderful. And
you're spreading a message, of course, Michiel. How is that message being spread?
Well, what we did before is, especially in the United States, is talk at universities. We did university talks the whole West Coast. And what we do now is we visit all these water projects we've been talking about, right? So we visit these local villages that have issues with their water supply, their clean drinking water supply. So what we do is we film there, we blog, make photos, and we post it online, and that's the way we try to spread the message, basically.
And what sort of projects are you talking about there? I mean, I know that we've got video from a couple of them, one of them in Mexico, for example. What sort of projects are these?
So there's a whole wide variety of projects. We visited 5 to date. The first one was kind of a big project in Oaxaca in Mexico, where people use their water resources. They've been allowed to use their water resources to sustain a living, and this is sort of a World Bank supported water project that has to do with community development. But another project in Guatemala, for instance, that was a tiny little community in the mountains called Zepatan, and there people have no access to clean drinking water. Some families have access to a well, but their water is dirty. Some people don't have access to a well altogether, and the kids have to walk for 20 minutes each day, a couple times a day, to get water, which is dirty, and which we visited a couple of guys who are making water pumps to make that load a little bit lighter, because it's usually the kids or the women who have to fetch and carry the water. So that's a hard job for them to do, and that means that they can't go to school and climb that ladder out of poverty. So. And then again in Nicaragua during World Water Day this year, which was about the urban water threat, we visited a project in Managua, also a very big project, multi-million-dollar project, where complete barrios, complete neighborhoods get reconnected to a clean water supply. Yeah. So these are kinds of projects that we're visiting. And now in Colombia, we've teamed up with the World Wildlife Fund, and they're going to show us some projects dealing with deforestation, with water pollution, with water its role in ecosystems, because water is not only a human issue. There's 1 billion people in the world who don't have access to clean and safe drinking water, but water is more than that. It's also about ecosystem, it's about vegetation, it's about climate change. Right. The glaciers here are melting. It's about hydro dams. So we're trying to to paint a complete picture about the role of water in societies and in the world.
Yeah, doing a great job, those guys. Let me explain real quick why they are not riding typical bikes. They chose bamboo because it's more sustainable. It minimises their ecological footprint, their carbon footprint, if you like. And they also want you to know that those bikes are holding up really well so far. Very strong, very flexible. You can check out their latest adventures by logging on to their website, cycleforwater.com.